Good morning, children. Today we are doing the poem A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris. George Leslie Norris was a prize winning Welsh poet and short story writer. He taught academic institutions in Britain and the United States, including Brigham Young University. The poem written by Leslie Norris explains the agony and helplessness of a caged tiger that lives in a zoo. The poet explains what his life could be if he had been a free animal. The poet has tried to explain about the condition of animals that are caged by human beings for their own fun. So, children, the theme of this poem is unfair and unjustifiable, that is human being, on the part of the human being, to enslave and entrap the wild animals and to impose on them a life of bondage and confinement. The animals put into the cramped spaces of the zoo and deprived their natural habitat, and it causes suppression of their natural and essential behavior. So the tiger in the poem presents a pathetic sight, as instead of enjoyment in the open expanse of the forest and preying upon the other animals, he moves about only a few places in the cage and behaves in an unnaturally quiet manner. Now let's begin with the poem, children. The poet begins by saying he stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Here the poet says that the tiger that is confined in the zoo moves around in the cage under his bright colored skin. He further says that the tiger can take only a few steps because the cage is small and it is not easy to move in it. One cannot hear his footsteps because he has very soft feet like velvet, because of which there is no sound of the tiger's footsteps. The tiger tries to control his anger by quiet walking in the limited area of his cage. He is angry because he is not free. Children, here the rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B. Then that is cage, rage, as we can see, cage, rage. Then there is personification of the tiger. The tiger is personified because the poet refers him as he. Then poetic device metaphor is there, where it is written pads of velvet. There it is metaphor. Tiger's paws are compared with velvet. Next is enjambment. In the last poem also, as I suggested, when there is no punctuation mark at the end and sense runs to the next line, this poetic device is called enjambment. Imagery is also used in this stanza. The poet tries to create an image about the tiger. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage. So here we can imagine that the vivid stripes, the colorful, the yellow stripes on the body of the tiger. Vivid is clear, visibly. We can see them, the stripes. We can imagine, therefore imagery, color imagery. Consonance is also there. Consonance is use of S sound here. Stalks, stripes. So here stalks, stripes is consonance here. Then assonance is also here. That assonance, that is use of vowel sounds. Vowel sound that is there. Then oxymoron is there. Use of adjective opposite in meaning. So that is quite, rage. Two opposite words are used together. Therefore, poetic device oxymoron. Next stanza, the poet says, he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the water hole, where plump deer pass. Here, lurking means to be hidden as to vault from your prey. The poet says that if this tiger was free, he would have hid himself behind the long grass near the water bodies so that he could easily catch a deer in order to have it as its food. Basically, the poet wants to say that the actual life of tiger is to live in jungle where he could catch his prey and eat it. But here, what is the tiger doing? Tiger is moving only in the cage. So here, the poet wants to say that the actual life of the tiger is to live in the jungle and to catch the prey, but here the tiger is in cage and cannot do so. The rhyme scheme is again A, B, C, B, grass, pass. Then again the example of enjambment is there. Then alliteration, plump, pass. Per sound is repeated, therefore alliteration. Imagery is used here. Lurking in shadow. This is imagery. Next stanza, let's come on the next stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Here the poet says that if the tiger would have been free, he would have snarled around the houses located at the outskirts of the forest. Snarling is the warning sound made by the animals. This is warning sound made by the animals. So here the poet says that the tiger would have, if tiger would have been free, he would have snarled around the houses located at the outskirts of the forest. He would terrorize people with his sharp tooth and claws. This would create fear among the people living in villages. But what is happening here? The tiger is still in the cage. Again here the rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B. Then example of enjambment can also be seen in this stanza. Here after houses there is no punctuation mark. Then onomatopoeia is here. Onomatopoeia means children sound imagery. Snarling is the sound imagery here. Therefore onomatopoeia poetic device is used here. Then use of vowel sounds O, I is here. Then consonant sound, consonance is used here. Use of consonant sound S in fangs, his, claws. So sound is there. That is poetic device consonance. Next, but he is locked in the concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Now here concrete is building made up of rocks, cement, sand and water. The concrete cell is the cage here of the tiger. Now the poet comes to the reality of the tiger that is inside the cage. He says that the tiger is confined in a strong cell which is made of strong building material. He further says that as the tiger is behind the bars, so his ferociousness is also behind the bars. He just talks in the cage, he just walks in the cage. He never tries to terrorize the visitors because his power is restricted by the cage. Therefore, he never tries to terrorize the visitor as he cannot attack them. The rhyme scheme is ABCB again. Bars, visitors, then personification of the tiger, then assonance is here, use of vowel sound E in he, logged, concrete, cell. Consonant sounds, S sound, S sound is here in his, strength, bars. Then alliteration, behind bars. B sound is repeated here, therefore poetic device alliteration. Next is he hears the last voice at night. The patrolling cars and the stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. The poet says that in night the tiger hears the sounds of patrolling cars. Patrolling cars are the vehicles of police which are used to guard at night. So in the night the tigers hear the sounds of these cars. He then stares at the shining stars with his shining eyes. The poet wants to say that the tiger is sad and he is confined in the cage. So he cannot do anything. So therefore what does he do? He stares with his brilliant eyes, that is shining eyes, at night and tries to divert his thoughts by looking at those stars. By looking at the stars, the tiger is diverting himself from the patrolling cars, the people, the visitors who came to see the tiger. The rhyme scheme in this stanza also is ABCB, cars, stars, then enjambment, poetic device is again used here. Then alliteration, use of sound H is there. He hears. He hears is alliteration. You can see he, her sound is repeated here. He hears. Then assonance is also used here as with his brilliant I sound is here. So there is assonance. Now children, notes etc. will be provided to you tomorrow.